Navigating the world is a whole lot easier with a few different identities to... Need me to come up with some for...
What's this? So you also believe in the prophecy. Keep it. I won't have any use for it.
What? You mean you don't believe in the prophecy?
No, I believe in the prophecy. But I also believe in another story. The story says that people once lived in the ocean. They were one with the ocean and couldn't live apart from it. But as time wore on, people desired to live on land and developed blood vessels, encapsulating the sea within their bodies. Thus could people set foot on land. So, if you ask me, when the water rises and takes us all, it'll be like we're going home.
Oh, we hadn't heard that one before. But people can't live underwater. They'll die. You should probably still take it.
All right, I'll take it. I guess I just feel that being dissolved into the water doesn't necessarily mean death.
So you're the blonde traveler that everyone's been talking about. My apologies for not recognizing you earlier. Oh, a magic pocket? Seems you really thought of everything. I guess it's better to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Thanks. Please, also thank the magician on my behalf when you get the chance.
I got a new letter from an informant. Looks like the situation has changed again.
I don't want that thing. Way I see it, if the prophecy's true, it's still gonna be a long time before the water can cover everything. Life is all about living in the moment. What use is there in worrying about the future all the time? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
You should still take it. You never know when it'll come in handy.
Oh, all right, fine. Thanks. It's just that if I start moving, that means I've already given up on the life I have now. I'd really rather not.
Oh, you already handed out all of the magic pockets? That was fast. So, what did people have to say? I bet you heard some, interesting opinions. Yes, but that will change once disaster strikes. I know they'll change their minds, so it's only right to help them prepare.
Is there anything else you need to do before we leave?
Yes, one last thing. I have the magic pockets made by a workshop in the Court of Fontaine. Since we're out and about, I was thinking about bringing him some more materials.
So, you want to collect materials? Just tell us what the materials look like and we'll help. Many hands make light work.
Oh, that would be much appreciated. We'll need some romaritime flowers. I remember seeing them near the waterfront on the east side of the harbor.
It seems we have to use Hydro to collect romaritime flowers.
You made quick work of that. I can tell you're an experienced traveler. I've also finished collecting a few here. Maybe next time you'll feel like helping too, Lynette.
No way. I'm in power-saving mode today. Otherwise, I fear I may not have any energy left for the performance at the Opera House.
Fine. Though the performance is still a long way off. Now that we're finished here, we should get ready to head back to the Court of Fontaine.
So, we're going to the Court of Fontaine before we head to the Opera House? Good. Paimon wants a tour of Fontaine's largest city and try...
Wait, shh. Have you noticed that person over there? The young girl.
Huh? What's wrong with her? Paimon didn't notice anything.
She's obviously a thief. Magicians and thieves practice similar methods. We divert attention, and a distracted audience is one that won't discover what you're really doing. Watch her movements carefully.
Oh, he's right!
Shh, keep your voice down. We need to think of a way to catch her, but it seems she's very alert. Perhaps we should split up. You two can ride the lift over there and wait up top. I bet that'll be her escape route if she tries to run. All right, let's go.
wanted us to wait. Oh, look! Isn't that her? Oh no! Did she notice us? She started running the other direction! What should we do? Should we chase her? You're right. She might also be trying to lure us away. Nothing's happened for a while now. Paimon wonders if Linny caught the thief. Yeah, let's go.
Are you sure that's all she took? You should check to make sure you're not missing anything else.
No, that was all. Oh, I can't thank you enough. I didn't notice a thing earlier. Anyway, I should be going now. Thanks again.
Oh, were you returning what the thief had stolen?
That's right. Pity I wasn't able to catch her. She distracted me by dropping the thing she stole on the ground. By the time I looked back, she was already gone.
I saw the general direction she went, but Linny twisted his ankle, and I needed to make sure he was okay.
Oh, did you get hurt, Linny?
I'll be all right. It's just a twisted ankle, that's all. In fact, it's feeling better already.
If you want to play at being a hero, at least try not to get hurt doing it. Imagine what would happen if you managed to derail our performance as a result.
You're right. Sorry, Lynette. I have to admit that the thief was even more skilled than I had anticipated. But at least we were able to get the stolen items back, so it wasn't a complete failure.
What a slippery little thief. Guess things turned out all right in the end, though. Linny's initiative paid off.
All right, let's put this little detour behind us. We should go to the Court of Fontaine now.
So, we ride this thing to go into the city? What an ingenious way to get around! People in Fontaine really know how to use water!
This is an aqua bus. It allows people to travel between several key locations around Fontaine. It's pretty convenient, but the ride can become a little dull after a while. The scenery is always the same. That's why it's better to travel with friends.
So you mean it's still boring even when I'm riding with you?
No, that's not what I meant. It's just that, well, you don't really talk that much. Besides, it doesn't really feel like a real trip when it's just the two of us. It's the same as being at home.
Whatever.
Guess that's what it's like to be an older brother.
It's about time for us to leave. Let's get on board.
Oh, excuse me! Aren't you the great magician Linny? And his assistant Lynette?
Hello. I don't believe we've...
I'm Charlotte, a reporter for the Steambird.
Nice to meet you. From the Steambird, huh? We've often relied on your paper to promote our performances.
It's an honor to meet you.
Wait, could that be the legendary traveler who's been making headline after headline in their journey across Tibet? Amazing! You recognized everybody almost immediately! I wouldn't be much of a reporter if I didn't know who's who, would I? Wow, today must be my day! Who knew I would end up on the same boat as so many VIPs? Could my vision finally be showing me some favor? So, Charlotte, what do you usually report on? Well, when there isn't any breaking news, I mainly cover the trials at the Opera House. You can still manage to keep readers' attention as long as you tell things from a clever enough angle, even if it's the same old topics. For example, reporting on how a scammer once deceived vulnerable girls into relationships, or how a financial criminal was once so poor that they ate a single piece of bread for 5 days. That's fine and all, but what I'm really after is exclusive, sensational news pieces that could shake the country. These smaller stories are a waste of my talents. Oh, I just remembered. I've been following a case lately. Well, a series of cases, actually.
You mean the serial disappearances of young women case?
That's right. These stories are the talk of the town right now, and it's probably the most mysterious case we've ever seen. If I'm the first with a draft ready to publish when the case is finally cracked, and it's the headline story in the Steambird, oh, when that happens, I bet all the other reporters will shed tears of envy. I've already gathered all kinds of materials. I just can't wait for the truth to be revealed. So, what is the serial disappearances of young women case? You mean the culprit hasn't been found? That's right. The first missing girl case happened almost 20 years ago. And ever since, after a period of time, another girl disappears. What the cases have in common is that the girls are all of a similar age, and that they've all vanished without a trace. But the scariest part is that to this day, none of the girls have ever been found. Many suspects have been arrested over the years in connection with this case, but shortly after each arrest, another disappearance would always happen. Yes, it's possible. But either way, I believe that every case has some precise truth behind it, waiting to be exposed.
Yes, I agree. And at the very least, the family of those missing girls deserves some sort of explanation. I just imagined for a second what I would do if Lynette were to suddenly disappear. I'd pay any price to get her back, and then find a way to track down the culprit.
Please don't imagine that, Linny.
I really enjoyed chatting with you. Life should be full of pleasant little surprises like this.
Yeah, us as well. The ride went by too quickly.
I have an interview to get to. I should get going before I'm late.
Okay, Paimon hopes we can chat again soon, Charlotte. See ya!
Bye now. Oh, be sure to stop by and see me at the Steambird when you have time.
What a tough job. Always running around and interviewing everyone. Well, where should we go now?
If you don't mind, how about we stop by my home first? Besides, I still have all the materials we collected.
Sure, we wouldn't mind at all. This city is so huge, Paimon wouldn't know where to start anyway.
This is our current abode. Ah, Fremine, you're home. Where did everyone else go? I have some new friends that I would like to introduce.
Oh, they all just went out a moment ago.
I see. Everyone is getting busier now that Father will be returning soon. I suppose that can't be helped. Allow me to introduce you to my little brother, Fremine. He is a phenomenal diver.
Hello.
Nice to meet you! Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler! Oh, you sound very proud to have a diver as a brother, Linny.
Linny, could you come here for a moment?
What is it, Fremine? Do you have something to tell me? Okay, I see.
Is everything all right?
Oh, it's nothing. We were just discussing a little housework. Sorry for the interruption. Oh, before I forget, the Traveler and I collected more materials to make magic pockets. Were you able to get any, Fremine?
Yes, I went diving and gathered lots of materials. I was about to give them to you.
That's our Fremine, always quick with the underwater work. All right, I'll take these to the workshop.
Looks like rain.
Oh, you're right. But wasn't it clear and sunny just a moment ago? Fontaine's weather sure is weird.
I'm afraid that's just how it is here. It often rains on days where there are trials being held in the Opera House, but don't worry, it'll clear up soon enough.
What's wrong, Fremine?
There's a legend about the rain that I tend to believe. It said that a dragon of water once resided in Fontaine. Though we don't know where the dragon went, every time it weeps, the skies will cloud up and pour out rain. When I was a child, my mother told me that if I wanted to go outside and play, I should yell toward the sky at the top of my lungs. Hydro Dragon! Hydro Dragon! Don't cry!
If it's an elemental dragon, then having the power to make it rain wouldn't be very unusual. Let Paimon try something. Hydro Dragon, don't cry!
Doesn't seem to be of any use. It is just a legend after all.
You know, you might be a more popular magician if you understood the concept of romanticism. Or could at least play along.
Sorry. It might be because we've never met the Hydro Dragon. Perhaps it can't be comforted by the words of strangers. It rained for longer than I suspected. Oh, it's already getting late.
Was there something you needed to do, Linny?
Yeah, some preparations for the show at the Opera House. I need to find a way to catch the last aqua bus of the day. On the day of the performance, just ride the aqua bus to the island of Araneus. I'll have Lynette meet you at the fountain in front of the Opera House.
Oh, are you leaving now?
What is it, Fremine? I'm in a hurry. Oh, I get it. You feel nervous delivering the materials for the magic pockets, is that it? Perhaps we could trouble the Traveler to help us take these materials to the Beaumont workshop and deliver them to the owner there? I'm afraid that Fremine can be quite introverted, and the boss there tends to be pretty talkative. Fremine has always been a little afraid of her.
No trouble at all! Don't worry, we're on the case!
Sorry for the inconvenience. I'm quite useless when it comes to such tasks. I'll think of a way to make it up to you.
Oh, no need! This will be a walk in the park for us! Hello? Is there anyone here?
Oh, hello there. New customers? Looking to buy, or do you need something made? Or perhaps you're just looking for a chat with me.
Oh no, we're just here to deliver some materials. Here they are. They're for making... what were they called again?
Ah, these must be for magic pockets. I could tell right away. No need. They've already prepaid several batches worth. When they told me what they'd be using them for, I even offered them a discount. But they insisted on paying the full amount, saying that I had a business to run. It seems both their hearts and their pockets are made of gold.
Whoa. So, is Linny actually loaded?
I can't say for sure, but who knows? Maybe there's good money to be made being a magician in Fontaine.
Hey! Is this machine what you use to make stuff here? It looks really advanced.
Why use your hands when a machine can do the work? It would be a waste not to use the latest technology, and wasting is a kind of crime.
But where does a big machine like that get its power from?
Well, it's a little complicated. I'm not sure I can put it in layman's terms for you. But basically, everything we usually use here in the city is powered by indemnitium. It's a type of energy that's produced from trials.
Huh? How can trials produce energy?
Well, I'm not completely sure of all the details myself, but basically, when a trial is in session, the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale harvests people's belief in justice and converts it into energy to be used all around Fontaine.
So that's what its other function is? Paimon heard that the Oratrice was created by the Archon to make judgments. But Paimon still doesn't get it. How could something unreliable like people's beliefs be turned into a stable power source for these machines? Oh, yeah! So that means the Hydro Archon relies on the machine to take the energy created by belief and turn it into power for all of Fontaine, right?
Even though I've never heard anyone really put it that way before, it sounds like it makes sense. Besides indemnitium, we have another type of energy called pneumosia. It isn't produced by the power of the Archon, but it is unstable by nature. Even now, it still cannot be widely used by civilians.
I thought I'd find you hard at work, but here you are chatting the day away. Since you're already talking, I'm sure you wouldn't mind a few words with me.
You again? Didn't I already promise you that I'd have the more I owe to Confrérie of Cabriere by next month? Why are you hounding me now?
Yeah, but how do we know that you won't go running off by the end of this month? I want 50% today. Wait, no, 70%.
Huh? You...
Seems business isn't so great for the workshop. We've already finished our job and delivered the materials. Maybe now's a good time to leave?
Hey, hold on! Before you go around trying to collect payments, why don't you settle your own debts first? If Confrérie of Cabriere wants to poach clients from Northland Bank, that's fine. But I'm afraid you still owe the bank a hefty sum of mora. So why don't we work things out between us first, before you get back to your little conversation here?
You're from Northland Bank. But we said we'll pay everything we owe next month. Why are you hounding me now?
Traveler, Paimon! I didn't think I'd run into you here in Fontaine. What are the chances?
We're surprised to see you too! What are you doing here in Fontaine? You didn't want to stay in Snezhnaya?
Long story short, I've already been in Fontaine for some time now, and honestly, things have been pretty boring. But it seems that fate brought our paths together today. Not only will I have some good friends here now, but ones who always seem to find trouble. Either way you look at it, it seems things are going to get a lot more interesting now.
Pretty sure we'd want to avoid anything that you'd find interesting. Besides, our trip here has gone pretty well so far, right, Traveler?
Hey, you, Northland Bank boy. Aren't you forgetting something?
Don't interrupt. It's not often I run into the Traveler like this. Why don't you wait for me over there for a while?
You kidding? Aren't you the one looking for us? You really expect us to sit and twiddle our thumbs while you catch up with your friends? Listen to me, boy. If you want your mora, fine. Why don't you come and take it?
Hey, I just said not to interrupt. Oh, by the way, Traveler, the last time I took Tonya and Tusser ice fishing, Tusser said...
Hey! That's way over the line! All right, boys, let's see who has to pay up now!
Can you at least let me finish one sentence? Fine. Though the bank told me not to get rough with our clients. You're the ones who started it. This is an act of self-defense. You two will have to be my witnesses, okay?
I'm sure this won't take long.
so strong if you're just a staffer from Snezhnaya's Northland Bank? Wait, don't tell me you're...
Oh, now you notice. It's a little late, don't you think? Just make sure you understand that you don't mess with Northland Bank. Got it? Huh?
Now's my chance!
Huh. That was weird. I'm not sure. It's as if I suddenly lost control of my hydro powers when I needed them. Maybe there's something wrong with my vision?
Strange. How could that happen? First time Paimon's ever heard of someone losing control of their vision.
Never mind. It doesn't matter. If I want to stay sharp, I shouldn't be relying too much on my vision anyway.
So what are you doing in Fontaine, child? And don't say it's work for Northland Bank.
Well, I guess it's because I've been in a bad mood lately.
Huh? What kind of reason is that? Wait, since when do you feel down about anything?
I don't know. Maybe I still have a lot to learn about myself. But recently, there seems to be some sort of restless power stirring inside of me. And I don't know why, but every now and then I feel like I'm in a terrible mood.
Maybe you losing control of your vision just now is connected with that power you're feeling inside.
That is a possibility. I can't remember if I ever mentioned it before, but when I was 14, I fell into some unknown abyss. It was during that time I learned nearly all of my abilities. The one who took me under her wing and taught me was named Skirk. She was always quiet and very mysterious. Nobody knew where she came from or what she had been through, and she was always very strict when teaching me combat techniques. One time, I asked her why she was willing to take me on as an apprentice. From what I could make of her answer, it was because I had awakened it, and traces of it remained on me. She said that all my combat training would be useful in the future.
But what is it? What did you awaken?
She never explained that, but my guess is that it's related to a dream I saw when I had just fallen into that abyss. In my dream, I was in the deepest depths of the sea, and the boundless seabed was all around me. But in front of me appeared a whale that was so massive, I felt like I couldn't breathe.
A whale? Oh, that sounds familiar! When we fought against you before, you summoned a huge whale that seemed to leap at us. Is that the one?
That's just an abstract form of a whale that I create using my elemental powers. It takes that shape because the scene I dreamt of the whale has always been stuck in my mind. I'll never forget it.
So you used the whale as inspiration for one of your moves? Huh. Seems a little twisted to Paimon. So why don't you just go ask your master? Maybe she knows the answer.
You make it sound so easy. Ever since the incident I experienced there, I've never stopped searching for Master Skirk and that unknown abyss. But it's been years now, and I've still found nothing. There isn't even a trace of the place where I remember falling into the abyss.
Oh, it sounds like some kind of ghost story.
Yeah, I'm out of leads at this point, but there's nothing more I can do. It seems that strange encounters in this world tend to be elusive like that. Oh, seems the time really flies when I'm talking with you. I just remembered I have somewhere else I need to be, so I should get going.
What? More work for the Northland Bank?
And no, it's more of a personal appointment. Lately, I've been sparring with some of Fontaine's official champion duelists whenever I'm feeling bored.
Official champion duelists? You mean it's their job to duel?
Yep, in Fontaine, before a criminal goes to court, they're given one chance to defend their honor by requesting a duel with an official champion duelist. The champion duelists are all powerful fighters selected from among the nation's best. And the duel itself is a no-holds-barred fight with no specified stopping point. So engaging in such a duel is regarded as a symbol of defending your honor. If a criminal manages to win the duel, they'll be acquitted. But if they lose, they'll have no choice but to stand trial. And the worst-case scenario is that you're simply killed in the duel. Though it's rumored that Fontaine has a death penalty, from what I can tell, no one has ever been officially sentenced to death. So really, the only people who opt to duel are those who have suffered a grave injustice in being accused, or those who greatly value their honor. Otherwise, why gamble with your life?
So, do many people actually get out of their trials by winning the duel?
Apparently, it's exceedingly rare for anyone to actually win. Fontaine probably enacted this system as a way to show that the nation respects the honor of its citizens. Besides, none of the champion duelists are to be trifled with, which is exactly why I was itching to face them as soon as I got to Fontaine. Apparently, the one I'm meeting today, Clorinde, is the strongest of the champion duelists. I had been asking her for some time before she finally agreed to face me today.
Well, that's child for ya. Paimon feels like we heard that name somewhere before. Clorinde.
Oh, before I forget, I want you to have this.
Huh? Your vision? You're seriously just giving it away?
I'm just worried that it could become uncontrollable again. I'd be pretty upset if it got in the way of my duel, so I think I'll be better off without it for now. Besides, I just need you to hold on to it for a short while. I'll come retrieve it when I have some time later.
Paimon knows what you're up to. You just want an excuse to come talk to us again, don't you?
Whatever gave you that idea? I'll be in touch later.
That sneaky guy. He said he's been feeling down lately, but he seemed the same as ever to Paimon. Well, since we don't have much to do for now, we might as well walk around and see the city before Lenny's performance. Wow! Who could have seen that coming? The reporter who was barely around for most of the story was the murderer all along! Sorry. Paimon was just surprised, that's all. Whew. Paimon never saw that twist coming. The murder mystery novels here are amazing! The whodunits here in Fontaine are a lot different than the light novels you see from Yai Publishing House. Both have their merits, but Paimon thinks this style of novels are more, well, novel. It's so exciting to reach the moment when the mystery is uncovered, especially in the one Paimon was just reading. You should buy a copy and read it too. Oh, sorry about that. Paimon will be more careful next time. Hey, shouldn't we be heading to the Opera House to see Linny's performance soon? It's almost time for the show to start, so we should get going. Linny said that the Opera House is on Aranias, so let's go ride the Aquabus!
These are the kind of headlines that go in for these days.
Ad Astra. Thank you for completing. Ad Astra.
There'll be an extra fee for that. Well, think about it.
much emotion puts you at risk of doing something irrational.
Good roll. Alright, maybe I'll take one more day off, and knock out the rest of the work once I'm feeling up to it. I got a new letter from an informant. Looks like the situation has changed again.
Rev the engines!
Whoa! Now this is fancy! The Opera at Eclairs. What a place to hold a performance! No wonder Linny and Lynette were looking forward to it. Huh. Looks like there's a lot of people standing around the fountain up ahead.
O Archon, please bless us with a bright and healthy child. We pray.
I don't know why you always feel the need to ask so much. I'll be happy as long as our child is healthy and lives a peaceful life.
I guess if they're our kid, then there's no doubt they'll turn out smart.
Maybe this is one of the customs in Fontaine. There sure are a lot of couples here.
Vache.
What's wrong?
Vache. Vache.
No, Paimon didn't say anything. Are you hearing things?
Welcome to the Fountain of Lucine. All the water flowing through Fontaine converges here. It's customary for newlyweds to come here and wish for children.
Lynette! You scared Paimon! When did you get here?
Lenny asked me to wait here for you, remember?
Right.
What do you mean? There are a lot of people here right now.
Hey, you're not trying to scare Paimon, are you? Besides, it's the middle of the day. It's not the time for eerie things.
I see. I might be able to tell you something that could help explain the voice you heard. In fact, you might not be imagining things at all. I suspect that what you heard is a result of your hypersensitivity to the hydro element. Others in my family have had similar experiences.
It's because of her sensitivity to the hydro element? But what would hearing a voice have to do with elemental power?
When do you cry?
Wait, what?
Just answer me.
When Paimon's really sad? Oh, and
Then you should understand that tears contain your most like I just mentioned. The Fountain of Lucine is where all the flowing water so maybe what you heard was the
so what did the voice say? Huh.
Rather than worrying, don't let that calm look.
Oh, right.
Traveler and Paimon, good to see you.
Are you kidding?
But you're actually right on time. The audience... The Opera House has assigned seating, so you always have to make reservations.
Ooh, front rows.
Don't mention it. There's no need to keep thanking.
Hey, Lenny! Could you come over here and take a...
Oh, I'll be right there. Seems there's an issue with the stage props over there.
Yeah, we'll just go. These should be... Hey, Traveler. Maybe we should strike up a conversation with the person next to us. Since we're sitting... Oh, you little... Of course you put this on Paimon.
Excuse me, I did not realize you felt awkward. I am terribly sorry. I would be perfectly happy to chat with you if that is what you would like.
Oh, so you heard all of that, did ya? Boy, you sure have good ears. Paimon thought she was keeping her voice down. Wait, that's not it. Paimon's... Sorry. Paimon's the one who was being rude, talking under her breath like that. So, let's talk, but, what should we talk about? Oh, Paimon's got it. You're also here early and sitting in the front. Are you a friend of Linny's too?
A friend, you say? Well, if Mr. Linney would like to be my friend, I would be more than happy to reciprocate.
Oh, so you're not friends with Linny then? Oh, this is getting more awkward by the second. Paimon nearly forgot to make her introduction. Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. We just arrived in Fontaine.
It is an honor to meet you two. I have heard of your deeds across Tevat. And as required by proper etiquette, I will also introduce myself. I am...
Oh, Monsieur Nervillet. What an honor it is to have you here to see my show.
Ah, Mr. Linney. I should say it is in fact an honor for me to see your performance in person.
Wait, Nervillet? Could he be...
I saw you all chatting just now, but it seems you still don't know who Monsieur Nervillet is. Allow me to introduce you to Fontaine's Chief Justice. That seat is always reserved for him. It wouldn't be too much to say that he's the symbol of justice and honesty here in Fontaine.
Ooh, sorry for being so rude just now. Paimon had no idea.
No offense taken. And by the way, there's someone sitting... I believe she is trying to... So I think you should take notice of her sooner rather than later.
Lena, the Hydro Archon. Huh. She sure has a smug and satisfied look on her face. Guess she has no idea that you saw right through her act.
Very good. That is for the best. No need to pay her any more attention. We may now enjoy the show.
Huh? So is this what things are like between the Chief Justice and the Hydro Archon?
All right, please wait just a moment longer. I've pretty much finished my preparations, and the performance will start as soon as the audience has made their way to their seats.
Yay! The show's finally about to start! Paimon can hardly wait! Paimon's never seen a real live magic show before! Ooh! They're dimming the lights! The show must be starting! Sorry. Paimon will try to stay quiet.
Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epiclese. I am the star of today's show, Linny. And over here is my sister, Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant. Please, let's give her a warm welcome.
Hello, everyone.
I know she may seem to be a little sleepy right now, but that's just a sign that she's nervous.
Whatever.
Now, some of you may be thinking, two vision holders who can freely manipulate elemental powers performing magic is not true magic at all. So, I would like to take a moment to assure you that elemental powers will have nothing to do with what you will witness on the stage today. Both Lynette and myself have removed our visions for the show. That way, even the gods won't be able to help us.
Oh, good point. That's what makes the show real magic.
Now, without further ado, let the show begin. Lynette will now exit the stage to make some preparations. I know you might miss her, but don't worry. She'll be coming right back on stage momentarily. Perhaps in an unexpected way. I'm sure she'll be stealing the spotlight soon enough. Oh, and before I forget, there's one more thing I should say. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. A magician's greatest skill is making things disappear or appear. The possibilities are endless. Huh? But this isn't what you came for. These little tricks, you've seen them all before. So it's time for something truly extraordinary, don't you think? This one's a little tricky. Using this water tank, I shall make my sister vanish completely, right before your very eyes. It's actually quite simple. She'll just turn into air bubbles and float right out of the top. Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully. With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage, so let me show you what a true virtuoso can do. Lynette, are you still there? Don't go too far. We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Uh-huh.
Whoa! What in the world just happened? How did he do that? Paimon didn't see him do anything! Wasn't Lynette inside the water tank? How did she disappear and then reappear out of nowhere?
If we could see easily through his tricks, then that would mean that his skills are still lacking. To appreciate magic, you should focus on the show happening on stage, rather than getting caught up in trying to see that which has been intentionally hidden.
Guess you're right. Paimon couldn't believe her eyes when Lynette reappeared. Amazing!
Thank you, everyone. I'm glad you enjoyed that performance. But our magical journey has only just begun. I've prepared even more astonishing surprises for everyone here. The magic of transformation and disappearance can go far beyond what you've just seen. I'm sure many of you are thinking that escaping the water tank was impressive enough, but Lynette is still my assistant after all. In which case, I have ample time to make all necessary preparations. So, for my next trick, I will require the participation of one lucky audience member. Please, if my assistants could bring out the magical boxes now. There are 2 boxes and only 2 boxes. One is here and one is there in the aisle among the audience. I'm sure many of our clever audience members have already guessed our next magic trick. A swap! Our lucky audience member and I will each enter a magic box. After 1 minute, we will each emerge from the opposite box. Now please, everyone pay very close attention to the box you see here. Don't give me any chance to make a move.
Wow! How's he gonna do this? Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks, or does Lenny have actual superpowers?
The lucky audience member will be generated by this random number selector. It selects numbers entirely at random. Even I don't know who will be chosen to participate. Now then, let's begin. Let me see. Oh, row 7, seat 3. Congratulations! You now have the chance to experience magic firsthand for an entire minute. Please, come forward. My assistant will take you beside the magic box. I'm sorry, it might be a little cramped inside, but no need to feel nervous. We've carefully arranged everything for you to be as comfortable as possible. You don't need to do anything, but no matter what strange things may happen, don't come out of the box. If the magic is interrupted, who knows where you might end up? You might even find yourself in the Fortress of Meropide.
Oh, okay.
All right. Before I enter the magic box, there is one more thing I need to ask the audience to do. Could you all give me a countdown? Like this. 60, 59, 58. Just keep counting down. You can go a little faster or slower if you like. I won't be able to see anything in the pitch black box, so I'll be relying on your voices to know when time is up. Oh, and no tricks now. If you quickly count from 60 in just 30 seconds, then I'll be in a tough spot.
Ooh! Paimon kinda wants to count faster after hearing him say that!
No, that won't do. I can see it in your eyes. You still can't be trusted. Let's practice together. Come on, repeat after me. 60, 59, 58.
60, 59, 58!
That's right, perfect. Keep it going. All right, I'll see you all on the other side once you've finished counting.
Marvelet?
I am counting in my head. I think things are exciting enough in here as it is, merely a consequence of my identity and personality. Do not worry about me. Just in.
Oh, all right. You look so serious that I'm
40, 39, 38!
Mr. Linney, are you all right in there? Is everything ready?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just double-checking the direction of the magic. It would be a disaster if we get sent to the wrong places. For example, mid-air right above the audience.
Even though he's saying that, Lenny doesn't seem nervous at all. Ah, what was that noise? Did you hear it too? Not sure. Anyway, it doesn't seem like anyone's worried about it.
25, 24, 23!
What's wrong, Mr. Linney? I can still hear you moving in there.
I seem to have accidentally knocked over a decoration. I'm trying to fix it, but it's pitch black in here. I can't tell left from right.
Never mind the decorations. There's no time for that. The show is what's important.
No, that's unacceptable. I want my show to be perfect. Don't worry, we still have 20 seconds. Hear them counting?
19, 18, 17!
It seems things aren't quite going as planned. I apologize, everyone. It feels like you're all starting to count faster, but that's all right. I know it can be tiring to do such a long countdown. 10 seconds and change is still plenty of time.
10!
Almost there now. Whew. Swapping two people is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait! Is this the back one? I can't tell. They both look the same inside. Huh? Nope, that's not it. I'll try again.
7!
Hey, slow down! Honestly!
5! 4! 3!
Whoops! That doesn't count!
0!
Ta-da!
What happened? Huh? Is this part of the show? Mr. Lenny, you're going to use magic to fix the stage now, right?
What happened?
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl was still in that box, right?
This performance is over. Medical staff with me. Guards, secure the scene and detain all the performers. Seal the exits. No one is allowed in or out at this time.
Yes, that's right. If this was just an accident, then we must investigate the cause. But if this was all part of some scheme, then those accountable will not escape the judgment of the god of—
No need to be alarmed, you two. We'll get to the bottom. Unfortunately, the person who is in the magic box has been pronounced dead. His name— Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caused the tank to fall onto the— As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowl in the box. And after an initial search of the area, it appears that this incident was not merely some— And there are many indications that it is connected—
That's the case that Charlotte mentioned before.
I know the truth. I can see through the whole thing. I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Linny, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances case.
Huh? Why me? This...
No, this all occurred during your magic show, did it? Now that I think about it, that whole speech about...
That can't be right! He was in the box on the stage the entire time! We can even hear his voice! Besides, before the show, he told us that he would like to catch the criminal behind the disappearances!
Save discussion for a later time, please. Lady Farina, may I assume that your comments just now constitute an accusation against Mr. Linny and his associates, and that you are pressing charges?
Huh? I just think that he... Well, I think it...
But what Lady Farina said just now makes perfect sense.
A kidnapping and murder carried out
I mean, of course, my dear, that's right. I mean you, traveler. You'll support Linny, won't you? Then there's no problem at all. You know, but with Linny's help, our little duel ended in a draw, so no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser.
It wasn't a draw.
I understand. Well, traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. But putting her... Are you willing to act as Mr. Linny's attorney and defend... Very well. The trial will be held a day from now in the Opera House. Both sides may investigate the scene to build their case. Linny and his troupe are all potential suspects and shall remain within the Opera House. The audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion once they have been cleared by the guards.
A day isn't that long. Let's see what kind of case this big-shot outlander can build in such a short amount of time. I'm really quite...
Linny!
Sorry about everything that happened just now.
Of course! Who would...
Yeah, I'm a little shaken. I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us talking. I understand. Even I'm not. I'm sure everyone sees me. I don't know whether what happened. As for how that, even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself couldn't pull all that off in just 1 minute.
Which is precisely why we need to investigate! As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible. Paimon bought them when we were reading at the bookshop in the city earlier. Pretty cool, huh? Don't worry, Paimon used her own savings to buy them. It wasn't from our travel...
I think they look cute on you.
You have good taste, Lynette!
That's the right attitude. But with the guards watching our every move, good thing you agreed to be our attorneys.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, just leave it to us. Oh, since we're going to start investigating, Paimon has a question first.
Ah, well... I'm afraid that would involve some of our essential trade secrets as magicians.
The secrets behind our magic are past saving.
I suppose you're right. The truth behind our tricks is going to be important evidence. 'Tis truly a pity. As a magician, our magic, but if revealing our secrets will help you we should go somewhere else if we're going to discuss our magic trick.
Alright, let's go have a look while the investigation teams are still here. Detective Paimon is on the case! Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
Ah, I see. You must be the traveler that Lady Farina mentioned.
Huh? What do you mean?
Come with me and you'll see. The deceased is one of Linny's assistants, named Cal. Even though he hadn't joined the troupe long, he was hard work. The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props. As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box. This is the real mystery. However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes, all these factors lining up so perfectly makes it... If anything, the more logical explanation is that...
But he doesn't have a motive!
Are you both good friends?
Well, you can't say we're good friends.
So in just a short time, he was not only able to... I know there's no such thing as magic. The real trick, I've seen a lot of cases, and I can tell you that people are the... Sorry, I tend to be pretty straightforward. Anyway, you may investigate the scene of the crime yourselves if you're curious.
So this is the rope that broke and cut. The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quickly by fireworks? Why are you suddenly so serious, Traveler? Whoa. Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left. Huh. So if a rope meant to hold something was made with that kind of material... Wait! Why would you write a... Hello there! What are you investigating?
Oh, this location has also been cordoned off because the Magic Troupe members, the seats were all booked in advance. So we were able to deduce the missing woman's identity by checking the guest list. Sure, it's not like this is confidential information. We will Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Fontaine. Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House, but she'd been... The Magic Troupe members all claim not to know her. We have looked into her social connections. It seems, simply put, she wasn't related to the Magic Troupe at all. That's how it seems to us, in any case.
Okay, then.
No need to be so formal. It is of utmost importance.
The investigation team has some new findings. Turns out there's an...
See, I told you. What if the machine picked some big guy's seat? You think they're...
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Linny and Lynette with their side of the investigation.
You're trying to help them?
Linny used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? Well, we thought there might be a serious problem.
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all. I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat. In other words, Linny knew who would be sitting where.
That much checks out.
Let's just see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Linny.
Even though it's been...
I see that you're investigating the area. If you find any new and interesting...
We don't have too many thoughts.
Then why don't...
The thud?
Yes, exactly. It wasn't terribly... It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Lenny's trick with bated breath. So no one paid it much mind.
That makes...
I'm of the opinion that it may have been the sound of Lenny's accomplice. And when the pyrotechnics went off, she cut the rope.
Wait, wasn't the noise...
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough landing. Oh, that's true.
That does remind...
Lenny's still talking to the guards. I think someone will be assigned to monitor us.
Go ahead, have a look around.
Why would it be him? How strange. Why would it be him? How strange. Gosh, no wonder the serial disappearances never got solved. We all heard that noise, didn't we? Whoever the murderer was, they must have made preparations well beforehand. This rope was obviously tampered with. People needed to register and reserve a seat for the show. That... Whoever the murderer was, why would it... Gosh, we all... This... People needed to register.
Go ahead, have a look around. Go ahead, have a look around. In the end, we're both at...
Speciale momenten met speciale koffie van Douwe Egberts Excellent.
Lenny's still talking to the guard. I think someone...
Lenny's magic.
Hey, you! Yes, both of you.
Huh? You mean us?
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the...
Well, you're right on the more about that one, but who are you?
Have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula? From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums, you name it, Spina di Rosula does it. And I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president. Though those who play by our rules call...
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus. Demoiselle.
Huh? Boss. Demoiselle.
Well, I am the second generation president. Malus and the others are still used to my
My apologies, Demoiselle. Should you prefer, boss?
No need. You don't have to call me boss. Just Navia is fine.
Okay, if you say so.
All merely trifling details. Never. That's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. Judging from the look of things, I find
Really? We think so too, but...
Intuition, naturally. Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Linny without... But that's not uncommon for her. If you remember, the Justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from getting carried. Anyway, a trial begins the moment someone levels charges. And, of course, there was no way Farina...
Sounds more like...
Well, what's your opinion? I must admit that she... All right, I've answered your question. Now, it's time you answer...
Wait a minute!
Well, I say it does. But don't worry, you won't hear... In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an...
Well?
And why would that be? See...
Most astute of you, Demoiselle. I too, no matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audiences expect, that if that can be done, boss...
All right, that's quite enough, Malus. Anyway, I like your answer. Now, I need to make some preparations, following which our joint investigate...
Wait! Since when did we become a...
Oh, well, I can be the assistant. Sure. Or your companion, if you like. I'm really not that fussy.
That's more like it.
Far be it from me to brag, but I believe you wish to save a friend from false accusations.
You have a point. And what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something...
I have nothing to add.
Oh.
We'll be making some preparations first.
Sorry, but but no one can freely enter or exit the opera.
No, we're not leaving. Were you always guarding this entrance?
Yes. After the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or so, the missing girl couldn't have left from here. At least, not from that point on. I doubt there was much opportunity.
How can you be so sure?
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time. I couldn't see Linny's performance from here, but still, I did not abandon my post. And I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. If someone had so much, we Melazines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
So, it's safe to say the girl couldn't have left through here. All right, thank you for your help. We've checked everything of note here at the performance venue. Paimon wonders how Linny's discussion with the guards is going. Let's go see, shall we? Ooh, things are getting interesting, huh? We're about to see...
Understood. Then I will be going with you.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift for you if I could.
You may spare the pleasantries. I'm just doing...
You've arrived. Who's this?
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem... Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me Navia. I'm a partner of theirs, and these are my companions. Would you mind if they join as well?
Fine by me.
Oh, new helpers?
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on such a large scale.
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box. But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand.
Huh. Weren't there balloons and other decorations?
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from discovering the answer.
The back? You mean the insect?
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that. The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get? Exactly. All right, let's go. I'll tell you how it works.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box!
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon. The 2 magic boxes are positioned right above the 2. See this flatbed trolley? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that...
I see. So that's the purpose of the...
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience...
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would...
Right! You were talking that whole time, and you even came...
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect. My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that...
And what about Lynette?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh!
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And, by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's who. And that's my favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
So that's how it all worked! Wow,
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could finish ascending. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would... But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand...
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably... And yet, to think that someone was able to... Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime, so Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here. I'll escort them back up.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now. I won't disappear into thin air, you know.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on you.
What's this?
Looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh? There's...
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick.
Whatever it is.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which, why would there be water here?
Oh! Paimon knows! It's one of those tricks where you... And here's a broken vase!
That can't be.
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing, right? Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be found.
Right! And do you really... Ugh, this is so confusing. Paimon doesn't want to be a detective anymore. What is this place?
It seems someone could fit through here.
Huh. Could this have been the suspect's escape route?
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull another person with them, the space would be too narrow.
But there are no other ways in or out of here. Oh, you're right! Let Paimon write that down. Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
Yes. Let's head back up. Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns. It seems to me that there are several things that don't add up here.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the vent?
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the vent leads to the Opera House's basement. The guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after the incident, and no one was found hiding there.
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then! You know, like the kind you usually see in novels!
The plot thickens. Halsey's disappearance and Cowell's death are both quite inexplicable. No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward Linny and Lynette.
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
Charges and then trial. So if the charges are upheld, they'll announce a sentence?
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the Oratrice will hear statements from both sides. That's right. This is how indemnitium is produced. The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's emotions will all be projected on the Oratrice. To put it simply, it's as if the Oratrice has its own will, and is a judge in its own right.
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. And not that this has ever happened anyway.
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. This, too, will be used by the Oratrice as a reference. Then, finally, the Oratrice will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the will of justice itself.
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides? Paimon thought Neuvillette called the shots.
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment, which is why people have great faith in the Chief Justice. Ah, yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place before the trial.
Huh? Why?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes us persons related to the case.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties, or that we might find outside help to disrupt the case. And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case ahead of time.
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Whoa, whoa! There's no need for that! Paimon thinks they have a point. That said, are they providing food?
Of course. I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all tastes is not in the cards, nor is any guarantee of balanced nutrition.
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. Pity. I was hoping to take you to try some of Fontaine's famous desserts, too. I mean, what better way to properly think through our findings than over some tea and sweets?
Huh. Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad idea after all. Just kidding, just kidding. Paimon will still do her best, even if there are no snacks.
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make some.
Huh? Here? But how?
Understood, Demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the Demoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy strikes her.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it. Please sit tight for a moment. You'll get to taste my awesome snacks soon enough.
These three are quite the interesting group. And Paimon thought it smelled good while it was still in the oven! Oh, it's even better now. Paimon can't stop drooling. you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking process. But you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself! Beating the egg whites, grinding almonds, everything!
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
Paimon was just thinking, aren't you worried about getting your fancy dress dirty beating egg whites and baking like this?
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. I just really enjoy making snacks. Don't underestimate beating egg whites, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency, or your macarons will crack. Anyway, give these a try, fresh out of the oven. There's 3 for each of us.
Only 3?
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head. You wouldn't be able to think clearly about the case on a sugar rush, would you?
Tea is ready to be served as well. This is Demoiselle's favorite, strong black tea with a floral fragrance that clears the mind and lifts the spirit. No need for concern. I'm merely doing as I should.
All right then. Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of a secret chamber. However, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also occupied its sealed confines. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel, resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction. Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
True. None of the clues we found thus far support the existence of this third person. But the only people left to consider are both technically victims, whether it's the missing girl, Halsey, or poor Cowl.
Huh. Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowl before making her escape?
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off. Nor does she have any motive. The guards said that she has never had any dealings with the Magic Troop's members.
Were we not thorough enough in our search? From the sound of things, this is turning into an impossible case. Your macarons are amazing, though, Navia. They smell great! They're nice and crisp and super sweet!
They are my specialty, after all. And I see you've already had 5 of them.
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right! Paimon only counted 3! Honest!
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually be a good thing.
No! Being greedy is one thing, but Paimon knows how to count. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough. Wait, even you don't believe Paimon? How could you? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach!
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat and eaten them by mistake. No big deal. Balloose, set up the stove again if you would.
Huh? What are you doing?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Exactly. We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, Demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almond.
Well...
Well, that's it for snack time.
I'm
I'm going to have another look around the area. I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, I suggest the two of you think the case over again. It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
Alright, thanks for your help, and for the snacks.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malus, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything new.
It's time to put our heads together. We've got to get our defense ready for the trial. Oh, it's probably gonna be a long and difficult case. There's no point in worrying about that now. We just need to prepare. Here, take Paimon's notes. They should help you review the situation. Well, there was no chance Paimon could have seen that the box had 2 layers. And that's why only the 2 of them can perform this trick. There was no third person. And Paimon didn't eat more than 3 macarons either. Digging a tunnel just for a magic trick? Whew, that must have been a lot of work. That size wouldn't have been a problem for Paimon. Whoever the murderer was, this is probably a prop too. Oh, looks like it could hook onto a lot of things. Like the Traveler's fishing rod! This flower vase is probably a prop for the show. But Paimon doesn't get this at all. You think about it for a bit, Traveler.
Go ahead, have a look around.
Apologies, but access to the Impossible. Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects. Besides, I doubt Farina understands any.
Thanks, Navia.
Best of luck to you.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did...
To be honest?
No, we're already...
Well now, don't you all look disappointed? That was to be expected, of course. But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed.
Since both parties are present, I declare, firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please...
Yes, of course. I will explain, well...
Thank you, Mr. Linney. You ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly there is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at...
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask...
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for...
And you didn't hear anything else at all?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so...
Huh?
Hey, hang on!
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the...
I was right by the box and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the... Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundation... Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
No wonder they did...
So the serial disappearances were the Fatsui's doing.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during... Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is... The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord. Oh, good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is real.
Hey, Linny!
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to re-establish the fact. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members. Are these claims... Please answer my question.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the...
What should we do now?
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary?
The defendant deceived their own attorneys.
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even in that case, my dear audience.
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry.
Paimon doesn't know where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you were not to set the wrong tone or anything.
I'm very sorry. I know you've clashed with the Vitui several times before. But our organization is very, very large, and the heart—
Right now, we want to save people.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation, and I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you. But the truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything— Right. So, you be the judge. You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade, but still, I'm asking you to trust me.
Sorry. Please.
Well, you both say that, but... Right. Let's hear you.
Of course. I'll answer. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core— From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box.
Is that why you needed a whole...
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, which should have been impossible, of course, I was quite certain that that voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of— On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it— After that, the
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secret.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. It was never my wish to proceed, but like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to—
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Okay.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need— Huh? Why would it be whoever the God, that size... Paimon hopes he doesn't seem likely that anyone could have...
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the event.
That took long enough. Now, at this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective. countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that this sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Linny red-handed. So Linny proceeded to knock afterward. Linny passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that Cowell's death would be ruled an accident. And there you have it.
Does the defendant's side have any objection?
Key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events. What Linny experienced and what he saw. Linny went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core. This is the actual truth. Linny did not take part in the underground altercation. He only witnessed traces of the aftermath. According to Linny, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel.
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to say! When the countdown started, Linny did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something, the crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again. And in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the
In other words, you believe that he knew—
That's right!
My reasoning?
If that's the case, then if hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Linny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell him! And that's why they're... Oh, well, your denial is very strident, I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims? Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? You're saying that he wasn't?
That's right! Linny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange. This means that when the crime happened, Linny had the same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof! How do you like...
Well played. To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Linny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment. Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Oh, could there have been a third person involved? Is that really a possibility? The deceased's name is Cowell. Could there have been a third person? The deceased's name is Cowell.
That can't be right. The kill.
Oh, is that so?
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator. No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. The sound we heard may have come from a clash. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into... Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment. The sound we heard may have come... The deceased's name is Cowl. No one entered or left the opera. It would have been tough for both people to fit into. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. No one entered or left the opera house through its entrance. Halsey's clothing was in the.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having...
I see how.
Look, since we're at a dead end, just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been.
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has to... And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know...
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but.
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. The deceased's name is Cowl, Lenny's assistant. The vase was not broken by chance. It was
Paimon gets it! It all comes to... Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving all... If there's a similar method...
How could a person ever be transformed into water? This... Must we really? Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and...
Even so, I trust the truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reason. Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at...
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their...
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, guards, please step into the lounge and examine...
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are... water from the primordial... The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that... The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's like... As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient...
You've got to be kidding! People do...
It's something so ridiculous.
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but...
If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was targeting that girl... Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order! It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased... Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with guards. Please continue examining Mr. Linney. It appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence.
Of course. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. I remember there was something else with... Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire... The water from the primordial sea should already have been prepped before Halsey entered the magic... The rope that strung the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and cut. As such, the focus here is on the water and not the tank. The water from the primordial sea... Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick, but was... Lynette was in the magic box on stage. I remember there was something... Lynette was in the magic box on... Now it seems like the hook...
It's aced in the original plan. Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope, and when the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve. Afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank.
Huh. That actually links together a lot of the more...
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused...
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who...
On that note, the guards have just contacted me. I shall now invite him on stage to share...
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the and we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal...
What?
That can't be.
Oh, I see. Well, does this not, my dear citizens? Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent. Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowell then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea. But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Linny desired sole credit and prepared to do away. Ultimately, he knocked Cowell out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward... Am I right, Mr. Lynn?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. There's no... Is this the end?
Oh no! Paimon can't think of it. Seems using the water as new evidence was...
I think we've all seen... I believe this is indeed... Now then, my good...
Excuse me, everyone, but I...
Miss, I must ask you not to...
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this? I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes. What in...
No offense, miss, but miracles like that...
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's... Come on, Lenny and Lynette. Give it another go. But as the magic makers and stars of the show...
I understand.
And voila!
Sorry for the interrupt.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So, the whole thing about...
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me. And then before I...
That'll teach you to underestimate...
Where should I begin? I'm sorry.
But... what? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian. And I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away.
Hey, no wonder you look from... Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then he even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
This time, we need to tell the... The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up. Lillian was afraid that she would be recognized if she left, so she changed clothes and hid by... The strange sound wasn't from a fight. It was Lillian's attempt to break out when she was frightened.
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time! Having been selected out of the blue, Lillian panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover he did not know that Lillian was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who, mistakenly believing that the water from the primordials, the two broke the flower vase during the struggle. With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended. knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have...
Ah, so that's...
Bravo!
Now then, Lady Farina.
I...
Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No, I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
Wow! Look at that!
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice, the actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be to cover up any evidence while committing the deed. Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and from this reconstruction of events, while there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision. As such, Linny and Lynette.
Great work. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know.
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny. I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, therefore you would be wise to tell everything you know, and seek the protection of the guard.
Yes, our boss discovered that the water can cause people. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to... We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent more off it. The disappearances were also the boss's...
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness.
An outrageous. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
So, we're just going back now? That's true?
Traveler, Paimon, please wait.
Lenny.
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me, but still. Let me thank you again for defending me to the end. Even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui. I guess. But regardless, I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with... That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
The Knave? The one who controlled...
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering... Back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering to survive. I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded... To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to...
So you went from orphans to...
That was how we felt at first too. As if fate was on our side. But I gradually discovered that while we were called fostered, he would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to guard.
That doesn't seem too bad either.
After one particular performance at a banquet, I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. I went to that noble's... The answer he gave me was... She caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform...
Oh no. But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal...
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care. And they have their ways of escaping the... I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person. And all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood.
So, she'd already taken...
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm. Father, the Knave, might have seen something in me, and so... The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray. I was hesitant to trust her. I had just been but she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis's power when she obtains it. She plans to use...
So, she believes...
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is current. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some... Everyone at Hotel Bouffe d'été, including the Knave, has their roots in To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart...
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets, to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with...
It's alright. I understand. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me.
Bye, Lenny!
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us now?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case. Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can... And given that there's new evidence from the trial...
Ah, I see. Well... I won't lie, sorry.
Don't say that.
Aw, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire. Sorry about... Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time as...
Huh? Do we really...
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to... Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too...
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm. If Boss Navi...
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the court of Font...
All right, then. Let's have our farewell meal.
Good roll. All right, maybe I'll take one more day off and knock out the rest of the work once I'm feeling up to it.
Rev the engines! Try and stop me!
Ad Astra Abbot. Thank you for completing.